Once upon a time, there was a small red airplane named Rosie. She lived at a bustling airport with lots of other planes, but Rosie always felt like she was different from the rest. She dreamed of exploring the world beyond the airport, of flying over mountains and oceans and seeing all sorts of amazing sights. Rosie loved to fly, but she had always been confined to the airport. She longed to soar beyond its boundaries and explore the world. So one day, when she was assigned to carry a very important package to a far-off destination, she saw it as an opportunity to finally leave the airport and see the world. Rosie was thrilled at the opportunity, but she was also nervous. What if something went wrong? What if she got lost? She had never flown so far before, and the idea of being on her own in an unknown place made her feel uneasy. But Rosie was determined to be brave. She revved her engines and soared into the sky, leaving the airport behind. As she flew over the countryside, she marveled at the beauty of the world below. She saw rolling hills, sparkling lakes, and fields of flowers stretching out as far as the eye could see. As Rosie flew higher and higher, she noticed something strange happening around her. The clouds seemed to be gathering around her, as if they were trying to communicate with her. Rosie was surprised but intrigued by this. She had always loved the clouds and thought of them as her friends. As she flew, the clouds began to form shapes that looked like letters. Rosie was amazed when she realized that the clouds were spelling out messages to her. She began to have conversations with the clouds, exchanging messages and forming a bond with them. For a while, Rosie felt free and exhilarated. She was finally doing what she had always dreamed of. But then, disaster struck. A sudden gust of wind blew Rosie off course, and she found herself lost in a thick fog. She couldn't see anything around her, and she didn't know which way to go. Panic set in as Rosie realized she was lost. She felt alone and afraid, with no one to turn to for help. But then she remembered the words of her wise old friend, an airplane named Bob who had flown all over the world. "Whenever you're lost, just look for the North Star," Bob had told her. "It will always guide you home." And quote. Rosie scanned the sky, and to her relief, she saw a bright star shining in the distance. She flew towards it, using it as her guide. As she got closer, she saw that the star was actually a small airport. Rosie landed on the runway, her heart racing with relief. She delivered the package and met some friendly airplanes who welcomed her to their airport. They showed her around and shared stories of their own adventures. As Rosie got to know the planes at the new airport, she realized that she wasn't so different from them after all. They all shared a love of flying and a sense of adventure, and with their help, Rosie realized that she could explore the world and experience all sorts of amazing things. Over the next few weeks, Rosie flew all over the world, carrying packages and meeting new friends. She flew over snowy mountains, sparkling oceans, and bustling cities, always guided by the North Star and her sense of adventure. But one day, while she was flying over the ocean, Rosie noticed something strange. The sky was turning dark, and the wind was picking up. She heard a loud noise coming from her engine, and she knew something was wrong. Rosie tried to stay calm, but she knew she was in trouble. She scanned the sky for a place to land, but all she saw was water. She realized that she was going to have to make an emergency landing. With all her might, Rosie tried to control her descent. She knew that she was about to crash, but she was determined to make it out alive. She closed her eyes and braced for impact. When Rosie opened her eyes again, she saw that she was on a deserted island. Her engine was smoking and sputtering, and she knew that she was stuck there until help arrived. For the first time in her life, Rosie was truly alone. She had no one to talk to and no way to communicate with the outside world. But she remembered her friendship with the clouds, and she knew that they would always be there for her. Days passed, and Rosie began to lose hope. She didn't know how long she could survive on the island, and she was afraid that no one would ever find her. But then, something miraculous happened. A passing airplane spotted Rosie's distress signal and sent out a rescue team. They found Rosie on the island, and she was brought back to safety. Rosie was grateful to be rescued, but she was also curious about the strange place where she had crashed. She learned that she had crashed in the infamous Bermuda Triangle, a place shrouded in mystery and legend. Some people believed that the Bermuda Triangle was cursed and that planes and ships that entered its waters were never seen again. Rosie was fascinated by the mystery of the Bermuda Triangle. She wanted to know more about it and explore its secrets. So she set off on a new adventure, determined to uncover the truth about this strange and mysterious place. As Rosie flew over the Bermuda Triangle, she felt a strange energy in the air. Her engine sputtered and coughed, and she knew that she was in danger. But she pressed on, determined to solve the mystery of the Bermuda Triangle. As she flew deeper into the triangle, Rosie saw strange and eerie sights. She saw ships and airplanes that had disappeared, and she felt the strange pull of the triangle's mysterious energy. But then, something miraculous happened. Rosie saw a glimmer of light in the distance, and she flew towards it. As she got closer, she saw that it was a portal, a gateway to another dimension. Rosie hesitated, but her curiosity got the better of her. She flew into the portal and found herself in a strange and magical land. The sky was purple and pink, and the trees were made of crystal. She saw unicorns and dragons and other creatures she had never seen before. For a while, Rosie was lost in this magical land, exploring its wonders and meeting new friends. But then she realized that she had to go back home. She said goodbye to her new friends and flew back through the portal, emerging back in the real world. As Rosie flew back to her home airport, she felt grateful for all of the amazing experiences she had had. She knew that she had seen things that most airplanes never would, and she felt proud of her bravery and sense of adventure. From that day forward, Rosie continued to explore the world and go on all sorts of amazing adventures. She knew that the world was full of mysteries and challenges, but she also knew that with her own courage and curiosity, she could face anything that came her way.